Welcome to today's episode of Retail Initiative. I had an interesting call a few weeks ago that I'd love to share with you that I think definitely applied to my business, but I think it applies to yours as well. So let's play the theme and then we'll get right into it. The rules of retail are changing. One by one, corporate retailers are closing their doors, and some call it the death of retail. But those rules never apply to independent retailers like us. We're writing our own rules. We're here to answer the questions about how to grow your business, stay competitive, and still have a life. I'm Josh Orr, and this is the Retail Initiative Podcast. So I had this call with someone a few weeks ago, and I honestly have been thinking about it ever since, and I don't know why it stuck with me so much. I don't know if you ever get those kind of conversations that you just think about a lot. And it was someone that was talking about like maybe wanting to partner together. And I asked, like, all right, so what do you do? And the answer literally, like 20 minutes in, I still didn't know. I had no idea what this person did. And look, I don't want to bash them in case maybe if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. But it was well-intentioned, and they were trying to provide a really good explanation of some of the work they do with retail. But it wasn't clear at all. Like there was like 30 things listed, but none of them were specific, and they didn't, at least to me, seem to be connected. And it just left me really confused. And it got me thinking about my business. And, you know, in my business, like we help with point of sale, we do e-commerce, we do inventory planning, we do general consulting, we do some courses and all these things. And I was like, oh, man, like if you ask me what I do, if I'm not careful, like I could easily list way too many things. And if I'm honest, like I know that as a business owner, you're never going to think, you know what I need? I need a POS, e-commerce, inventory planning consultant, and I'm going to Google all of this. Like, no, you're like, I need help with the POS, and you're going to find someone that does that, or I need help with e-commerce. And it doesn't mean that you can't do more than one thing, but it does mean that you have to realize how to learn how to frame yourself. But why do I share this with you? Because obviously this is a retail podcast, and so hopefully you're a retailer, and you're wondering, okay, well, what does this mean for me? And it got me thinking about the idea of, like, when you know your customer, you know what their pains are, we have to work to resolve one of them. Not 5 of them, not 6 of them, not 10 of them, but really one. And what that looks like for you is if I asked you, like, hey, what kind of retailer are you? And you start naming 5 things, especially if you were if you're trying to launch and you're launching small and you name like 5 different things that you're trying to do, honestly, you probably aren't doing any one of them that well. So think like if you're a women's boutique and I'm like, hey, what do you do? And you're like, well, you know, we do women's apparel. We also do plus size. We have a children's department. We also carry like home accessories. And we also do styling services. We do closet cleanup. And it's like, look, all of those things are great and all of those things are good. But what your customer is probably wanting is like, where can I get the cutest clothes and like the things that are going to complete that outfit? So like one thing, or they want a place for home, or they want a place for kids. The likelihood that they want a place for all of those things is rare. And it doesn't mean that you couldn't get to that point, but you have to have been, you would have had to have built up your business to a certain level that you can be really good at each of those areas. So, you know, think through like, okay, if we're going to launch, who do we want to be and what's the one problem that we want to solve? If we want to be in apparel, who is our one target customer, which, gosh, that was like 10 episodes back. I don't remember when that is. But to briefly revisit it, something I'm a huge fan of is this idea that I think, truthfully, you can only have one customer. You can't have 3, you can't have 5 profiles. Instead, you need to really target one person. I have a 33-year-old mom, and you know she has a college degree, she's married, she has an income level of $120,000 a year, and this and this and this. Like you're naming someone very specific, and you are doing your buying, your marketing, your website, your store experience, everything is built off that one person. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to also get 25-year-olds or also get 50-year-olds. But when you're buying and marketing and designing your experience, you're thinking of that one person and only that one person. So, it's once you know who that person is, think, okay, like what is a massive pain point that they have and what can I solve? So if they don't have a place where someone with this one particular style can go and shop literally the entire store and get something that's going to fit perfectly in their closet, then be that for that person. And when you find that avatar, like they're going to flock to you, and people that are like that are going to flock to you. There's a reason why, like, people congregate with people similar to them, similar styles, similar music tastes, similar income levels. That's the way we work. So when you try to gravitate towards everything, no one has a reason to gravitate towards you. So pick that one customer and then solve their one problem. Don't try to solve 10 different problems for them. Instead, try to solve one. So leaving this podcast today, what I would say is, like, if you haven't already, think through, okay, if I had to pick one person, a specific age, a specific gender, specific income level, specific hopes, specific fears, and all of these things, one person, who would that be? And second, what is the one problem that I can solve for them well? Because chances are, if you want to do what you do well, you can't do more than one thing. So, this is a super short episode, but this is on my mind, and I thought that it applied to you. And I honestly, of all the podcasts I've done lately, I think this is one that can have a huge impact on your business if you're willing to take the time to really implement this kind of idea. So thanks for listening, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.